Hey peeps, welcome back to my channel. Yes, a little Taylor memorabilia from my 30-year memorabilia collection and from my celebrity connection with Elizabeth Taylor. Today I've got an epic video for you today because we're going to go back to the 1800s and we're going to explore who Poker Alice was as a gambler in the old days, and we're going to explore who she was and also take a look at the transformation Elizabeth Taylor undertook to take on the role of Poker Alice in the 1987 tally movie Poker Alice. So we're going to have a look at the history of Poker Alice, we're going to have a look at the movie, and we're going to have a look at some wonderful pieces of memorabilia, costume items worn by Elizabeth on the train when she was gambling, and so we'll take a look at those as well. So we've got a bit of an epic edition today, so stick around and so you don't miss out on Who's Afraid of Poker Alice. Alice Ivers was perhaps the best known female poker player in the American West. She was born in England on February 17th, 1851. She moved to Virginia with her family when she had just turned 12 years old. In Virginia, Alice attended boarding school and soon became a refined lady. In her late teenage years, her family relocated to Leaderville, which was a city in Colorado. In Colorado, she met Frank Duffield, who worked as a mining engineer, and she married him shortly after. When Frank wasn't mining, he was playing poker, and after a few years of marriage, Frank Duffield was killed in a mining accident when playing with a charge backfired. This put Alice in a tough position financially, and she failed at a few jobs, including teaching. So Alice turned to playing poker to support herself. She ended up making quite a name for herself by winning money from poker games. This money enticed Alice to travel to New York, where she would spend her money on clothes, thinking it was an investment and a way of keeping up with the latest fashion trends. She would buy specific dresses that she would wear playing poker, hopefully distracting her components. It was soon after that she then earned the nickname Poker Alice or Poker Alice Ivers. Poker Alice became a poker dealer. It is said that she was a poker dealer under Bob Ford. Bob Ford was the man that murdered Jesse James. Poker Alice travelled all over the place, and eventually she ended up in a place called Deadwood around 1890. It was in Deadwood that Poker Alice would meet the next husband. While dealing in the Bedrock Palm Saloon, she witnessed a drunken miner attack a fellow dealer, Warren G. Tubbs, with a knife. Poker Alice threatened Tubbs with her .38 caliber pistol. It was after that incident that Ivers and Tubbs began a romance and married soon after. Together they had 4 sons and 3 daughters. Tubbs contracted tuberculosis and died in 1910 from a pneumonia during a blizzard. Poker Alice drove Tubbs' body more than 50 miles to have him buried. To pay for his funeral, she had to sell her wedding ring, which led her back to the poker table. Poker Alice had now become so successful she was entertaining large crowds to watch her use her poker skills. Many saloon owners liked her because she was a respectful woman which lived by her values, including not playing poker on Sundays. As her popularity grew, so did her earnings, where on some nights she would earn as much as $8,000. This was an incredible sum of money back in those days. Ivers would claim that her earnings ended up being over $250,000, which is equivalent to around $3 to $4 million in today's world. Using her fashion and good looks, Poker Alice continued to distract men at the poker table, and in her 50s she was still considered as a very attractive woman. She was also very good at counting cards and figuring out the odds, which of course was a great help at the table. Poker Alice always carried a gun and was known to smoke cigars. She did not live without controversy, however, and in the 1900s she opened what was known as Poker Palace, which was a saloon near Fort Meade, South Dakota. She offered gambling and liquor downstairs and prostitution upstairs. The saloon did not open Sundays because of her religious beliefs and unwavering values. In 1913, a few drunken soldiers disobeyed her no gambling on Sundays rule, and the saloon became chaotic and they started destroying the place. Poker Alice reached for her gun and shot it in the air to quieten down the soldiers. One of the soldiers was killed as a result and another injured. Alice and 6 of her sex workers were arrested and placed in jail. She wasn't incarcerated very long and managed to pass the time reading her Bible and smoking cigars. At the end of the trial, she claimed self-defense and was acquitted. Her salon, however, was closed down. In her 60s, she was arrested several more times after the Poker Palace incident for being a madam, a gambler, a bootlegger and a drunk. She complied with the laws on each occasion and paid her fines and continued on with her business. In 1928, she was arrested again for bootlegging and other brothel offences, and she was sentenced to more time behind bars but did not serve, as she was pardoned by the governor of South Dakota because of her age. Poker Alice died February 27, 1930 in Rapid City after a gallbladder operation at the age of 79. Alice has been portrayed in several television series and films over the years. Elizabeth Taylor played Alice Moffat in Poker Alice in 1987.
In a land that was untamed, wild, and lawless. One Westerner was the most dangerous of all. Elizabeth Taylor is Poker Alice.
What did you say this game is called?
A 5-card stud, Miss Moffat. We'll let you set the limits, Miss Moffat.
Nothing wild. No limit.
No limit.
Limits is such a bother, don't you think?
George Hamilton is her trusty accomplice, Cousin John. They don't just all go west and disappear, do they?
The 3 ladies bet 3,000.
I have a house in King City. It's got to be worth at least $3,000.
Where's my house? Well, it certainly doesn't look like it's worth $3,000.
Yeah. It's what's inside that counts. Lady Luck just brought Poker Alice a house that's more than she bargained for.
You sweet thing.
I am not a madam.
You are now. And a romance that wasn't in the cards. For the town of King City, it's no longer business as usual.
I ain't giving her nothing.
Hand it to her and say thank you.
Thank you.
You! There's a Bible waiting for you downstairs.
You know what you can do with that Bible.
They're a perfect pair with a full house. Tom Skerritt, George Hamilton, and Elizabeth Taylor as Poker Alice.